Hey guys, it's Lisa from Own the Day Planner. Welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be a plan with me for June 2020. Now, I just want to preface this entire video by saying that I am attempting to film this in the daytime during the quarantine period where everyone is at home. So you are likely to hear background noise. You're going to hear my son playing, probably my husband making some noise, and maybe even a dog bark or two. So I apologize for that. I'm trying something new, filming in the daytime, but it will probably be a little more challenging. So if you can deal with that and you're into seeing how I plan my monthly spreads, then keep watching. All right, so I do want to say that this is the first official time that I'm going to be using a monthly spread functionally and I guess decoratively. I am really a daily planner, and you will see that in future videos when I present to you my own personal inserts that I have been designing and prototyping over the last little while, which is in tune with the Own the Day planner system. But since I just recently did a giant Carpe Diem haul, which if you haven't seen that, I'll link that up in a card above. I purchased these really adorable monthly inserts, and they are undated, but I thought I might as well start using them just to kind of get a flair and a flavor for the way I like to plan monthlies. I already kind of know what I want to do in terms of using monthlies functionally. So these came in a monthly pack for 12 months, and they are adorable, and they are undated, which I like. And they have this beautiful sort of vintage theme with them with the June tab. And on both sides, there's also a sort of midnight floral design there, which I love. So what I'm going to attempt to do now is figure out first and foremost, sort of my theme, which I think I want to go for sort of a vintage floral for June. I have been into midnight florals, but I think I want to try more for a pastel floral. And that also has a lot to do with the fact that these particular monthly inserts, the entire pack kind of has this watercolor theme. And I've also been on a bit of a watercolor kick, designing some stickers for my own personal use that are watercolor themed. So I thought I might as well go with some pastels. So the way that I look at monthly planning functionally is basically getting a bird's eye view of the month. So because these are undated, my first step is going to have to go in and put in the dates, and then from there I'll start putting in any important appointments or things that I know are coming up in that month, and then that will give me an idea as to how much space I have for decorating. Now, I know that this is probably different from most of those planners you might already watch. Many of them do their beautiful decoration and then plug in their important dates. I'm more of a functional planner, so you'll see that I may be doing this opposite of most people. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to use my friction pen here, which is erasable, thank goodness. So if I do make a mistake, I can erase it. And I'm going to go ahead and at least put in the dates. And then I am going to start looking at important appointments for the month of June. All right, so I've gone ahead and put in the dates, and my next step would be to look at, for example, any notes that I may have taken for upcoming appointments. Typically though, I just keep these notes in my phone, so I'll be referring to my actual smartphone for upcoming events and appointments. And so the first thing I want to do is just go ahead and mark out special days, whether I'll start with appointments, and then there's other things like client invoicing, or if I'm expecting mail, or if I have important meetings or things like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is sort of appointments, and those would be more like family appointments or like a car maintenance appointment. So the first one that comes up is actually June the 2nd, which is a Tuesday, and I'm going to use this little itty bitty appointment or deadline sticker. These are a few that I just printed off myself. I have been, as I said, designing some stickers, and these were prepared on a rather large sticker sheet, so I have plenty of them. And so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put that there, and this would indicate to me that there is an appointment or some sort of important deadline. So I may also use that kind of sticker when I have a work deadline. Next up, we do have, so that would be a car maintenance appointment. And then the next day on the 3rd, we have another appointment, but this one in fact is a Zoom call for my son's school, because all of our schools are closed and will be closed for the remainder of this year due to the COVID-19 situation. So my son has a school Zoom call. He's only in the second grade, but they are attempting to do Zooms with second graders to kind of keep the communication going between school and home. So that is happening. And so I have this little itty bitty sticker, if the camera would focus. There we go, which is just a smartphone design. And I'm just gonna probably lay it standing up like this, maybe off to the left as I did for the other one, to indicate that there is an important call going on there, which I happen to know the time of, and I'll go in and put the details later. And then on the 4th, we also have a couple of meetings, so I will go ahead and grab another one of those little smartphone symbols. So this is going to indicate to me that we have online meetings. Oops, there's a little snag there. I'm going to fix that. I hand cut these with a blade because I do not own a sticker cutting machine, but I do have 2 new blades that I'm going to do a review of that just came in the mail the other day, so I will review those for you and do that in a future video. I'm currently just using a simple blade to cut out those stickers. So that takes care of the 4th. There are 2 meetings there, and I'll fill in the details later. I also have, oh my goodness, I didn't realize how many meetings online coming up in the month of June. So I'm going to go ahead and insert another little smartphone sticker, which just kind of indicates an online meeting. I have one on the 9th. This has to do with a number of volunteer education committees that I'm on. So we do meet monthly, and sometimes there are special meetings. And then we do have an actual appointment for my son's dentist, and our dentists are just starting now to open up their offices for the month of June. So we had booked an appointment for the 11th of June before the entire pandemic started. And so that appointment is being honored. So we will have to venture out for this medical appointment for my son. And I think that is it for the appointments. As I said, I'm going to go in and fill in the details there. This is just to get a bird's eye view on which days we have what types of appointments or meetings. Next up, I do have one birthday in June, and that is my little brother's birthday. So I think I will use the Carpe Diem sticker pack that I purchased and just sort of indicate that with this little birthday hat sticker, which is absolutely adorable. I'm going to put that on there for the 22nd, and I think for the birthday I'm going to again put it in sort of the lower left corner there. Following that, I have specific points within my month where I invoice my clients. So what I have been doing for that is using these little bitty stickers again that I printed out that just kind of show what looks like a receipt or an invoice, and that's just to remind me that these are the interval points in which I need to invoice my clients. So I do have an invoice date coming up on the 12th, so I'm going to grab a sticker for that. All right, so I do have one invoice date on the 12th. Oh, I think I did not cut that. Oh, I did cut that with a blade, but extremely tiny. So I am going to remind myself that I do have an invoicing procedure that's going to take place on the 12th. And then I have another batch of clients that will require invoicing towards the end of the month. It's almost always at the end of the month for this particular batch of clients, and that will be on the 29th. So I'm just slipping that in there. And I realize that I've just missed an online meeting. I do have another one on the 18th, again related to volunteer committees that I am a part of in the education world. for our local school board here. So that is on the 18th, and that is going to go right here. As I said, I'll fill in the details as to what these appointments are and their times afterwards, but I kind of just want to get a bird's eye view of what we've got going on so far for June. So that seems to be the majority of the sort of important dates or appointments, whatever categories they are, which I will fill in later. So now I kind of have an opportunity to see, okay, well, how much space do I have for decorating even after I go in and sort of plug in? So I can see that I don't seem to have anything urgent in this column, so I can probably do a little bit more decorating here. You know, I might want to avoid here so I have space to write, but this kind of gives me a fair idea of what I can do as a decoration using sort of a vintage floral theme. But I've just realized that I do typically do my social media planning in a separate insert, but I do kind of like to see what I have going on at a bird's eye view again. So in terms of YouTube, I typically come out with videos every Tuesday and Friday. So what I'm going to do is I've also designed these little YouTube stickers just to kind of remind me of when I have set in my inserts that I have videos coming out, so that I remember that I have to pay attention to what promotions I may have set aside time for that day, or not to forget to check my analytics, those kinds of things. Any of you watching this that are YouTubers, you'll relate to that. You kind of want to be on the ball when you know you have a video coming out. So I'm going to just go ahead and place those on Tuesdays and Fridays for the month, and then come back for the next category of social media planning. Alright, so I've gone ahead and put in my YouTube stickers. I left out the beginning of July because I will insert those stickers on the July inserts. So the next step would be to indicate when I have new podcast episodes out. So if you didn't already know, I'm the host of Raise Your Frequency podcast, which is a podcast that is dedicated to all things entrepreneurship. And so it is a weekly show. I typically come out with a new episode on Wednesdays. So I've gone ahead and designed these little miniature podcast cover art stickers, which just indicate to me that that is when I have a new podcast episode coming out. So those are on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. So I'm going to go ahead and stick in those for the Wednesdays and then come back for the next step. All right, so now we have my itty bitty YouTube video release schedule as well as my podcast release schedule for June. Now finally I think we can get to getting some deco on there. And leave sort of the writing in of the details for last. One of the things that I do like about these inserts, even though it isn't a lot of room, there is a section for notes here. So what I would probably like to do, even though I'm very much of a daily planner as opposed to a weekly planner or monthly planner, but I would like to put a little sort of checklist there. And so of course I've been playing around with designing stickers, so I thought I would use this one that I designed, which is a little checklist of 4 things. Maybe at one point the next day or so I'm going to determine before the month of June starts what top 4 things I would like to get done. Now these could be anything from home related to work related to personal to self-care, I don't know, but I'm going to just go ahead and stick that in there and fill it out once I've had a chance to reflect on what sort of that monthly to-do list would look like if I consider all categories of my life and things that I plan for. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that just right at the very top there because I'm sure I will need the rest of the space for something else. Just haven't quite decided what yet. And I didn't realize that at the time when I designed these, but they do fit rather well with these inserts. It's almost a perfect match for the measurements of this. That looks probably to be about 2 inches or so. So that I have a little checklist there that I've added in. And all right, so next step would be to kind of get into some of the more decorative stickers. Setting aside all my little icons and appointments and to-do list things, I do have 2 sets of sticker books that I wanted to take a look at. This is actually my very first Happy Planner sticker book, and it's the one that I have been coveting for so long. It's the one that has the botanicals, and I've seen it in other people's videos. I'm not so much a fan of the black and white ones, although I know I will use them, but it was really sort of more of the vintage florals that really caught my eye, and they do have a number of beautiful other stickers as well. But when you look at some of these amazing, and they're on the pastel side type of florals, I just couldn't resist. I mean, look at those. I mean, there is a number of different colors in here, so they could go for many themes. And so I intend to use all of these. I know I will use them all. And there are also some pastels, which would go really great with these inserts that I got from Carpe Diem. So, you know, if you look at the pastels here, these can be used. This is a marble one. So there's just so many wonderful aspects. This tended to be on the pricier side, and I'm not sure if it's because it is more of a special edition when it comes to the florals, and also the fact that the florals are clear. So they are clear stickers as opposed to having a white cutout background. That probably makes a difference in the price. Either way, I'm really excited to start using this. So I think what I want to do, since I did say that I wanted to do a floral theme, or at least sort of a vintage floral theme, I want to see what the sizing of these side bands are here, and maybe I can do a little something at the bottom, even though I do have these symbols here that would fit. They're probably not quite long enough, but I might just be able to get them in, although these ones, oh, I see. I thought they were separated, but there were some air bubbles here, if you can see that. And I thought that they were only half that size, but this is actually an entire size. So let's see how long that is, and perhaps if I can get it all across the top of the page. So, ooh. I'm gonna have to up my sticker placing game. I'm a little bit clumsy here. Why don't I move that side out for a moment and see if I can actually get this on straight. I will probably need to cut it because it is going to be too long, but I might be able to just get this across the top, line it up with the edge of the page so I don't have too much waste or overhang there. And that is almost a perfect match. Just gonna snip that little bit there. So then I'll probably just go ahead and match the other side. All right, so we've got an adorable top border going. I think I might want to do, I don't want to use all of the borders in this one spread. So I'm thinking I might do some larger florals at the bottom. And I definitely want to have some on the sides as well. So I think what would be nice is to have, since I tend to not have a lot of appointments or things that I'll need to write in on a Sunday, I can probably use this gorgeous sticker coming out of the side here and just kind of eking into the page. And because they are clear, you can see if you've written anything underneath it. In this case, it doesn't block the dates, but had it gone over the dates, I still would have been able to see it because they are clear. And then I think I would like to do something similar on the right side towards the bottom right. Perhaps using a different style flower. I think I might want to do some leaves here. I just find these so pretty, and the greens are just gorgeous. And they look a lot like watercolor, for example. And I think I don't need to use that whole sticker, so I may just cut it there so that I can use the other side somewhere else. But I would probably just line that up with the edge here. Perfect. And if I was a little off, I can just go in and correct that, cut off the excess. There we go. And this beautiful part here, I think, since again I don't need all of the spaces on some of these, and I'm not likely going to enter anything in the July dates, I may just arrange that to the bottom of this page, line it up. There we go. And I have been really wanting to use some of these with the different colors in them, not just the pastel pinks, although I do have quite a bit of the other coloring. Just noticed this sticker, which is really interesting. Everything is going to be okay. That's pretty poignant given the global situation that we're living right now, and where I am in Canada, here in Quebec, Montreal. This has been a saying. I don't know if it's the same for the rest of the world, but it has been sort of a hashtag or a saying that we've had for the last 2 months, both in English and French, and that would be the English translation of that. I do think I want to put sort of like a little reminder here in the Sunday box, something cute, a nice saying. And I do like these clear ones. So maybe I will just go ahead and put that everything is going to be okay, and just pop that into the Sunday box because I don't plan on needing that space to write anything. And there are some, obviously, botanicals and florals in there as well, but I can still see the date. And you know, Sundays do tend to be a day where I reflect quite a bit and also might, you know, plan for the week ahead or do a little bit more self-care. So I'm going to go ahead and use this Focus on You sticker and perhaps put that in the empty box on that first column, which coincidentally happens to be my birthday on the 31st of May. And so because I didn't pencil in that date, given that I'm doing a June spread, that's kind of fitting to put that on there for my own birthday, Focus on You. I would really like to do something here. Now, Saturday, I do risk having to eventually write something in there. And to my understanding, you can write on these, particularly the matte ones, although the florals that I'm really itching to use are all clear and do have a bit of a coating on them, so I'm not sure how that would work, but I may be able to lift them later and write something underneath if I have to. So I love these, just great big giant ones. And again, I think I am going to use it in 2 different spots. So perhaps here, have it coming out of that side of the page there, still leaving me some room to write need be. And I'm debating, kind of feel like, apologize once again for the background noise. I did warn you at the beginning of this video, it can go a multitude of ways. The only one who seems to be behaving themselves is the dog. There we go. So it's looking a little empty at the bottom here of the monthly spread, so let's go ahead and fix that. I will probably just attempt to write on top of it and see. Well, that worked, so we have the date back, and it's still in the upper right corner. So I think that is good for this. Now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put in some of those details if need be, times and things that might relate to these little stickers.
All right, so that video. Thanks so much for sticking with me as I plan my monthly spread for June 2020. It was a lot of fun having you here with me. Hopefully I've given you some ideas, maybe for your own designs. So if you like this video, or if you like planning and planner related content, as well as DIYs and fun crafts, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a brand new video. So see you in the next video. Bye for now.